What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Ryzeal Mitsurugi going up against Fiendsmith, Bestial, Primite, I believe. Before we dive in too deep, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel a lot. We're trying on the road to 10K and you guys' support. We are going to be seeing a couple pile rolls, or a couple pile shuffles here. This is going to be a top cut match. I believe it is the finals of last week's event. We are going to be seeing here the player on the right, the Primite deck, end up winning the die roll here. And it's going to be started off with a summon of, or activation of Tract here. We'll be searching for a Lurie, most likely discarding the Lurie here, unless it was already in their hand. We do see a White Dustland in their deck. This is going to be the bridge for the Fiendsmith as well as the Primite cards. We are going to be searching for an Engraver and then discarding the Lurie that we already have in our hand here. We're then going to be seeing the Lurie summon itself out. We're going to go for the Requiem. We're going to go up now into the Lacrima. We all kind of know how this does kind of go here. I know both players have been playing a bunch of times. We are going to be dumping the trap, so not forcing ourselves to go up into the Lacrima play during our opponent's turn here. We do activate the Engraver in our hand, which is going to then let us get an additional draw off that Princess here. And then we are going to be putting back to summon out to the Engraver. And then we do have the ability to go up into the Caesar. And then we have still the Lacrima alongside the Requiem in the graveyard. And they're just going to pass turn on this. We're going to see an Imperm on that Caesar, so all that work for absolutely nothing. Proceeding with a normal summon of an Ice. Ice will then be able to summon out from the deck a copy of the X, and then X will search for a copy of, it looks like a Node here, so perhaps already having this sword in the hand. Now when your names are at 2 in the deck, it's going to be kind of hard to kind of continue these lines. I have seen somebody try to play 2 Node. I definitely do not recommend that there, but you know, in the grind game, I guess it's up to you guys. We're going to be seeing a duo drive being made here, and I believe that this is going to trigger the trap card in the graveyard, but I could be mistaken. I feel like we definitely just activate, Feast in Paradise here. Sending the Desiree from the deck. They do Ash this, and they are going to Ash the duo drive. They do chain Ash to the duo drive as well. So we see both effects getting ashed. They do summon out the sword, and that's going to allow them to search their deck now for an X, which they have not summoned out using its own effect. So having the ability to go up for another XYZ can be pretty nice. I believe this is 2 XYZs here altogether that we're going to be able to go for. Now we are going to go up into an Evil Twin, and then we do summon out the Node. Node will then activate the effect, sending the Evil Twin to the graveyard here, summoning back out that X, and this does put the Twin in the graveyard for the duo drive attachment as well, which is pretty nice. And then we still have the X in our hand to kind of continue off if we have to. We see a King of the Feral Imps here being made. This is the Mitsurugi build, so potentially wanting to lean into that, and we do nib this on summon here, getting rid of that completely, saying you're not going to get any search for your Mitsurugi cards at all. But they do have wasted a bunch of hand traps. Now we have only Fiendsmith online from the opposite side here, but they know they have a track in the hand. So we're going to go for X now, dumping the copy of the second Twin that we're going to be seeing. That's going to be able to bring out the Feral Imp here, attaching the second Eclipse Twin to the graveyard, and it does not really matter. I believe they can't equip Eclipse Twin, so they do equip the duo drive if they have to, and then they activate the effect, attaching to search for the red one here, and then we're going to go for a X being sent to the, or Ice summoning itself out by sending the fire to the graveyard here to go up into the Dugaris here, and then Dugaris will allow us to summon back out that Mitsurugi from the graveyard, which is then going to activate its effects, allowing us to search for the Mitsurugi ritual here. But we're now not going to have a main phase 1, I believe, if this is effect is correct. I always forget what Dugaris does. It's kind of sad that Dugaris didn't get a QCR either. You know, we forgot Baguska as well as Dugaris there. Yeah, so we skipped the main phase 1 here, which is kind of important to note in the next phase. But we are going to use summon back out, and then we're going to be able to activate the Mitsurugi ritual, be able to dump from the deck to summon out from the hand here. And it looks like they dumped a Night Serpent alongside... Oh, we're dumping the... Yeah, Night Serpent as well as... They're thinking of Night Serpent. So we're going to do the fire and the dark, both dark, but the red one and the black one from the deck. And then we're going to be able to add back and then pop the entire field here with that ritual. And then we activate the ritual once again using the one from the field to be able to summon out one from the deck. And they are going to do some math to kind of deal some damage, but then we're going to be able to summon back out. And we have to search for the trap here. Well, it's going to be an Omni-Gate. So we have enough on field for a game, and they just scoop it up, realizing the game's going to be lost. Now, I didn't think that was going to go that way. You know, Mitsurugi does have the resources that, like, you know, let them play through that. But that hand looks pretty nice. You know, we saw the Imperm on the Caesar. Now, they did waste a lot of their cards for that whole Fiendsmith line. But having, like, the Fiendsmith trap for the Duo Drive, and then having, you know, the Duo Drive get ashed anyways after the trap got ashed, it was like, okay, this is back and forth. I like it. I like it. But yeah, it was pretty nice, you know, seeing those hand traps being used very defensively rather than offensively for the side there. You know, you don't want to stop anything. You're not stopping any Lacrima. They already have Engraver in rotation. Like, there's no need to drop the Imperm on that. But the Ash must have been the card that was drawn for turn, because we would have probably just ashed the Requiem, probably, I would assume, but there is a debate maybe you do for Tract as well in this build. Well, no, because I guess it depends. Like, we don't exactly know now. They are in the finals, so they both know what their opponent is playing at this point, which is important. But, like, I guess, like, your first action is Tract. You probably don't ash it there. You probably wait for the Requiem to kind of go for it, and then you just stop that. But they already have the, like, an Engraver in the hand, or they already have the Lacrima. It's like, it feels so bad. But they didn't have any of the Primite stuff in this hand at all. We are going to be diving in game 2 with the Fiendsmith deck. Going to be going first once again. And we're going to see an Engraver search for Tract. And then we're going to activate the Tract now, letting us search and dump the Lurie, something of the Lurie here. We're going to go for a Requiem. And do we have lines for Primite this time is the question. We're going to go for Lacrima. Lacrima will then dump from the deck. And this is going to dump most likely the Trap again. They still have 4 cards in the hand here, which is pretty nuts that we're going to go all this. So we do dump the Trap. You know, it didn't work out the best last time here. We're going to go up into the Princess. Do we have a way to discard it again? We do. We have a way to get a draw here off of... Or we don't have a way to get a draw. We just go for a Brandon Regain, make the Caesar, and then set one pass. Interesting. Maybe they were hoping that if they do get hit with a Bestial, they could just summon out the Engraver there. But we do go for a Lightning Storm on the monsters. Getting rid of that Caesar once again. Just saying, like, you make your board. I'm just going to get rid of it. But they do summon out the fire one of the Mitsurugi's. And we do ash this. But they have the Mitsuguri quick effect to tribute, paying 800 as well as being able to search and do other stuff there. And then we take a second to read this card because, like, this card just absolutely busted. I still don't know what this card does. I've read this card like 6 different times in the past 2 weeks, and I'm like, what is going on? They all have so many different effects, which is pretty cool, but you can ash this card. We've already used ash this turn, so, like, you're not going to be able to kind of resolve that there. But we pay 8 and we search as well as summon back one here. So we're going to summon out that fire looking one, which is a dark. Important to note that they are darks. I always think that it's a fire, but it's not. And it looks like we have a handful of Mitsurugi and not much Ryzeal stuff going on here. We take a second to read the trap, you know, wanting to make sure that they know exactly what this card does. And we know they have the ritual in the hand, which is important, but they have 3 other spells. We go for talents now to essentially put back, and it is a driver in their hand, which feels absolutely horrible. Putting that brick into the deck, but leaving them with no cards. You see a little like, oh, why did I do that? But it is what it is. We're going to be seeing now the Mitsuri Ritual going to be activating its effects. The actual spell card, by the way, to summon out the Mitsuri Ritual. And then we're going to be dumping the Night Serpent as well as the Dark one from the deck. And then we are going to activate the effect. We do activate the Fetus in Paradise here. And then we're going to activate to summon back out. And we do have a Call by the Grave on this. You know, maybe wanting to get rid of the Night Serpent. Which we do as well. And we do see them not be able to discard for the Feast in Paradise, so they will not get to send that, which is important to note. Like they activate the effect of the ritual, send like you have to discard a card, or this effect gets negated, which is pretty cool. I like that they have the opportunity to activate the negate whenever you want to, and they have a choice to not negate by sending the trap or spending a card from the hand. I do think that's pretty cool. I wish that maybe it wasn't like that, but or you could activate it as many times as you want, or maybe like twice per turn, something like that. I don't even exactly know, but it feels pretty nuts. I guess if it was anytime you want to, it'd be pretty crazy. But we do now go up into the ritual once again, ritualing something from the deck, using the ritual on the field, and then they're going to summon itself out. And then we do go for Lacrima summoning with the Requiem here. And then Requiem will be able to activate its effects, allowing them to protect their life points. But we did take some damage there, unfortunately. But it wasn't enough for game, so we're still kind of in it. We do see a draw for turn off the effect here, but do we have anything to kind of continue the plays? We negate, or attempt to negate that Requiem there if we don't want to discard the card in our hand. But, like, there's not really much we can do. That Branded Regain's not doing anything for us at this point. We have a spell, which is not looking too hot for us, but we take a second to read both the Mitsurugi rituals at this point. But like we don't have, they didn't touch the extra deck, so we can't go for a Typhon. There is quite like not much we can do, unless we have maybe a way to get up into the like a Zeus line. That could potentially be an option, but I don't really see it. They are looking in their extra deck. I mean, this is going to be the finals, so like you have their time to take. We're not close to time. We're like 24 minutes in, so not even halfway through, and like you are down a game as well. So like if you're like gonna lose already, you might want to just take it slow and just kind of look at your options there, trying to decide like, do I even have an out to this, or if I can continue just playing here. They take a second to read, wanting to make sure that they know everything that's kind of going on here. We're at talents to draw 2. Refilling our hand now, and we still have the Engraver effect in the graveyard to bring it out, which is going to be half of a Zeus. And we have used Requiem's effect this turn, but it's not once per turn, it's only once per summon, which is important to note. I believe. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's only a once per summon. You can use it twice per turn. Yeah, you're good. You can use it twice. Yeah, we're fine. It only can be summoned once per turn, and the equip effect's only once per turn, but we will potentially be able to use it again here. So we go for a Primite Roar, which is going to pay 2,000 to summon out a White Duston from the deck. This is going to be our second Requiem here, which can give us access to that Engraver. We're now going to summon back out, letting us add. And we do go up into the second Requiem. We're going to be seeing the effect can activate, letting us summon a second Engraver from the deck. They take a second to read this, like, you already activated that there. It's like, yeah, it's not once per turn, it's only once. You only special summon it once, which is pretty crazy. But we only special summoned it last turn there, which is very important to note. So we do go up into the Engraver most likely now, because we want to be able to go up into that M7. But we do now go Requiem Equip, Requiem Send to the graveyard. We can for free, because why not? We are going to be outing the board here anyways with that Zeus. But we want to make sure that we don't have to send a card from the hand to negate our stuff, which is important to note. Like if we end up, just beating over something and then just going for a Zeus line during their turn, we don't want to have to discard a card in our hand to activate that Zeus effect, which is important. So we do it for a normal summon of Ether Barrel, and they have now access to Primate alongside the Engraver line here. So they have the M7 alongside here, this Zeus line. I wonder if they should have gone Zeus first and then go for the Primate stuff, so that we have a drill beam able to be activated here before we Zeus. But they do go, okay, well, you summoned out this here. But yeah, we explained like how the Primite stuff works. They do go for the Mitsurugi ritual now, summoning back out this guy, which is going to blow up our entire field of monsters, which is kind of crazy. But we do have the Lordly Load to be able to activate effects, allowing us to now search our deck. And this can also summon out Driver here, which can also give us the level 6 for the M7. I see the line, and Zeus is going to be hitting the field. We do add that Drill Beam to the hand. And yeah, we're going to be going off here, which is pretty nice. Now, unfortunately, we do Zeus our own field as well, not getting that brand regained at all this game. Essentially being a card that just sits on the ground. We do now go for Engraver, put back to summon. And putting back what looks like to be the Requiem. And then we can go for Lordly Load, summon out the level 6. Driver from the deck that they put back for us, which is quite nice of them. And then we can overlay up into the big guy. Now, we can't activate the M7 effect this turn because we are under a Lordly Load now, alongside not being able to activate that Zeus. And we are going to unfortunately have to discard a card in our hand because we can't get rid of it. That Miscurious Ritual, if I do mistakenly know, both cards in the hand being the ritual itself, the spell card, alongside the other fire monster. But yeah, so we're in a very simplified game state where we're going to have to Drill Beam to kind of get rid of that ritual here. Hopefully they only play one of it. But we do get to put back in the deck and then getting a draw, which is pretty nice. Returning that card from our hand, finally getting the effect of that regained. And then we do go into an M7. M7 will attack into the fire-looking one. And then we can go up for a Zeus. Now, unfortunately, we don't play the Gaia Charger, so it's not going to be a double send Zeus here. But that's going to be definitely just rough. A double send Zeus would have been very nice. We're going to go for the Mitsurugi Ritual now, sending the summons out, the one that's going to make us having to discard a card. And they do Zeus that there, but they are going to essentially just lose the game because they're going to summon back out, and the Zeus is not going to make that much of a difference. So we just see them scoop it up there. Unfortunately, just not going to be it. And now, if they did have a double send Zeus, they would have most likely activated it in the draw phase first, getting rid of the entire field, making them not be able to activate the ritual from the hand at all. But that's kind of unfortunate there. We did not play the Gaia Charger in our extra deck at this point. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Don't stay safe. Peace.